Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Hey, everything on three. Number three. 1 on 1. Oh. 1 on 3. 1, 2, 3. Hey, next up from that. Eyes on three. Everything on 3. 1. Everything.
You are now listening to the Fantasy Football Bros Podcast.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Fantasy Football Bros Podcast. It's your boy. Whoops, that's the wrong sound clip. It's your boy. I don't even remember. I haven't done this in so long. What's my sound clip? Oh, I remember my sound clip. There it is.
Oh, you're an idiot.
There it is. We're back. Champ is here, guys. I should have had my belt because we've got a bunch of guests in the room, so we're not going to waste any time here. With me to my virtual right, we are joined by the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Jay Coleman. Jay, what's up, dog?
What's going on?
And then, as always, we are joined by the no nickname, no nonsense.
What's up, guys?
Adam Van Hout, what's up?
What's happening? What's happening?
Special guests today, guys. We have got, if you guys watched our fantasy football wrestling draft to determine our draft order last year, you realize we got at work the fireman in the house. We got the fireman. We got Mr. Jon C. What's up, John?
What's up, fellas?
Thank you for joining us. And if you watch the wrestling video as well, joining us as well, we got Dave. Dave Z, we'll just call him. What's up, Dave?
What is up, boys? Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
So all of us were in the Fantasy Football Bros League, and it's been a while. But who won that league?
Oh God, here we go.
I got
Fuck off.
He just wanted to bring you guys on so you can say that.
Yep, for sure. Can we curse on here?
I just got to say who.
Fuck off, Tony.
I thought the stipulation for coming on this episode was we weren't going to talk about that league.
We don't talk about that league.
No, he tricked you. He tricked you.
That's what all this was. No, you know what this is, guys? This is like a special. You guys don't even know this little bit. We are celebrating our 1-year anniversary, guys.
It is.
So,
is that today?
That's this week. This
Or
episode,
this week, right? Okay,
yeah.
perfect.
This
Love that.
episode will be, we released our first episode late May of last year. So I want to thank you two for being with me the whole time. And thank you two new guys for, maybe the next year now, moving forward. Some new peeps.
I mean, I feel underdressed for a 1-year anniversary. I'm not going to lie. I'm sorry. I should have brought my
Gotta
A
get
game.
Chaz to get you a Fantasy Football Bro shirt.
Let's go.
Shit.
That's
right.
sick. I
And
want
the-
one. I want one real bad.
And that, okay, let's just show everybody what we're doing. I got my ruby red Kolsch. Oh, yeah.
It's officially draft time.
That's right. So, okay. So here's what we're doing today. Special, guys. You guys know this. You guys at home. We are doing an all-time fantasy football draft. All-time. Very simple. You can draft any player, any era, ever. As far back, for you guys, us older folks, we can go back in our youth, like Y.A. Tittle. We can go draft. We can go back that far if we wanted. But any player ever, right? And once they're drafted, they're gone. So if you draft, I like to use, people might want to run out and draft Tom Brady, obviously. Tom Brady, if you draft him, you get him. You don't have to pick his year. You don't have to pick anything else. You want Tom Brady, he's yours. He's off the board, just like any other fantasy draft. So
Nice. I will say, I brought my A game for this. I created my own cheat sheet and everything. Let's talk about the plethora of talent for a second and how hard it was to make this cheat sheet. Usually, like 1 year, you can be like, you got your top 20 and then a bunch of scrubs, but it's like this one's just got banger after banger after banger.
Right. And the way I'm kind of like focusing this, so I don't know. And just to be clear, we're drafting basically 2 of everything, tight end and kicker, and a flex. So like 2 quarterbacks. You don't think of it as a 2 quarterback league. I just want to like draft 2 quarterbacks just so we have more guys to talk about.
Yeah.
So don't go in thinking like it's a 2 quarterback league. Just even think of it as like a starter and a backup. That's all. So 2 quarterbacks, 2 running backs, 2 receivers, tight end, kicker, and flex. We're not going to do defense. All right.
You're not doing 2 kickers, are you?
No. I just figure with the quarterbacks, we'll do 2. So just so we have more guys to talk about, this will give us 10 old school guys to talk about for a few minutes. Or new school guys, right? I
Okay.
mean, you're welcome to draft Patrick Mahomes. I mean, he's a stud, right?
True.
So it doesn't have to be any sort of way. So what we are going to do in order to do the draft is I got these 5 cards and I'm shuffling them up. I'm going to take the last card. Okay. So I will let Dave pick first. So
Ooh.
tell me which one you want.
Let
1,
me
2.
go 2.
You're gonna go
Oh,
2. You're gonna
yeah,
go
I'm
this
feeling.
right here?
I'm feeling 2. I'm feeling 2.
You got the ace, baby.
Let's
Oh,
go.
first
Let's
overall
go.
pick. Wow, that's a
That's
big
a big
spot.
one.
That's a big
You know, it
spot
is, but
right
it
there.
isn't. There's just so many bangers in this league.
There's a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Go anybody.
All right, let's mix them
I
up
saw that
again
card.
here, John. All right, John, from my left. 1, 2, 3, 4. Which one do you want?
4.
You guys are like shiesty. You got the 2
Wow,
coming in and stealing our league already. Look at these guys.
Jesus.
Jeez. All righty. Okay. Then we'll go with Adam. 1, 2, or 3.
Give me 3.
3. You are going foe.
All right.
Okay. Adam is going 4. So this is Adam. And then Jay, 1 or 2? 1, 2.
1.
You're going 5. And I'm going 3. Okay. So,
Let's go.
and of course, it's just, we're going to do a snake draft, all that good stuff. We're all professionals here. Real quick, we kind of know our backstory, but Dave, how long have you been playing fantasy football?
Oh man, dude, I'm a 15-year plus fantasy football player. I don't want to brag. I got a couple championships under my belt, but the one that has eluded me is any type of league that you run, and I just gotta say that is the only one I want. That's the only one I want right now.
Well, you know what, Dave? I can't say the same thing because I won your league a couple years ago.
I kind of saw that coming. I was waiting for
brought it up.
that, but it is what it is, man. I'm happy. If I didn't win it, I'm happy you won it.
Oh, well, thank you. Me and Dave share 3 leagues together. Me, Jay, John share 2 leagues together. So these are the fantasy football bros, all of us.
That's right.
And then John, how long have you been playing fantasy football?
Oh, it's got to be 20. Yeah, it was 18. So 23 years, 24 years.
So you might be the
Since I'm
veteran.
trying to think of who was like the Priest Holmes, Marshall Falk. That was probably even before those guys.
Yeah,
I'm trying to think of who was like the top guy when I started.
you're the veteran then, because I think this is technically my 20th year.
Nice.
So I remember my first ever draft pick was Dante Culpepper for the Vikings.
Let's go.
Oh,
I got a story. I've told this one on the podcast before, but my very first fantasy year, I knew football, but I didn't know it as good as I did now. It was 2009 when I joined my cousin's league for the first time. I drafted Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady first, second round back to back. To this day haunts me, and I still get shit about it in my other league.
Hey, you could do
And
that.
eventually, I traded Aaron Rodgers for Jahavid Best at the height of his season, and then he got hurt and disappeared, and it was a bad year.
So
Amazing.
it was
my
a
very first
quarterback
fantasy
league. It would have
football
been
year.
a championship.
that's right.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it wasn't, and I was an idiot.
So did you guys? Are you guys? I mean, I know John's busy, but is anybody necessarily rushed? Because I gotta ask a question.
I'm good.
All guys.
No, I'm good, man. I'm good.
What do you think about this rumor that came out today that Tom Brady's going to unretire and play for?
Oh
the
Jesus!
Nah,
You don't
Play for
think
the Raiders?
No, he's not going to.
nah. I don't
God, I
think
hope
so.
not.
Dude,
It's
everything's falling
it's
in.
I
exactly
might
that.
cry.
It's a
I
rumor.
might legitimately cry.
If you think about it,
He'd
last year
He'd have to give up his ownership stake in the team to play. He ain't gonna do that.
Is that
That's
what
right.
it is?
I read that today.
Yeah.
Then maybe
That he
not.
would have to give up his ownership stake that he just bought in the team to play for him.
Sheesh.
But he'll be
But
back with
dude,
Josh
the
McDaniels.
NFL owners, they can do anything. They can get anything done that they want to get done. So I'm sure if they really want to, they can change some rule. And
Right. And they might be like, well, he's only a minority owner. So I just think it's
Exactly.
interesting. And then, of course, the big, up in the air of will he,
he's
won't
not coming
he?
back to the AFC.
Will DeAndre Hopkins come to Buffalo? So let's take it one at a time.
God, I
Jay,
hope so.
Jay, what do you think? DeAndre Hopkins, where's he going?
I mean, I don't really know. I mean, if the Bills are going to pay him, then I could see him coming here.
Okay. All right. What about you, Adam?
I would love for him to come here, but ultimately it comes down to whether he wants to get paid or have a decent situation. Because the Arizona Cardinals weren't it. I heard that he's considering Detroit. I don't know if I heard that correctly, or if he was actually considering it, or if it was just something that was like, oh, this makes sense for him to go there. But honestly, I think if we want him, we'll get him. Brandon Bean's a magician with salary cap somehow.
That's true.
So we'll see.
Dave,
So
what-
I'm thinking yes.
Dave, what are your thoughts?
I mean, no one loves D Hop more than me. That, as you guys probably know, I drafted him crazy early, even on the 6-game suspension. I love me some D Hop, but would I love to see him in a Bills uniform? I would absolutely love to see it. Do I think it's going to happen? No, I actually don't. And the research that I've kind of done on it is there's speculation of where he's going to go. I honestly think, and not a lot of people are talking about this, I wouldn't be surprised if we see him in a Chiefs uniform.
Yeah, that's my take too.
Yeah.
John, I'll get to you next, but my take is going to be the Chiefs. Like, why wouldn't he go to the Chiefs? They just lost Juju. They lost Tyreek a couple years ago. They just won the Super Bowl. Patrick Mahomes. They've got about as much money as we do. So why wouldn't he pick the Chiefs? And John, what are your thoughts on that?
I think he's going to whoever gives him enough money at this point. He hired an agent. I think he's going to whoever gives him the ball at this point. That's not going to be the Chiefs or the Bills. So unless he decides he wants to try to win a ring, then he goes to one of those teams and takes less money. But the fact that he hired an agent,
right, which that means he'll probably end up with the Browns or something with Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, with Deshaun Watson. Did you see his comments? By
as long
the
as
way?
he's not with the Chiefs, I don't care where he goes.
Yeah, exactly. No,
I agree with that. Deshaun Watson. They did an interview and they asked him about Deshaun, about Hopkins reuniting with him in Cleveland.
Yeah,
I mean, the Browns do weird shit, so I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up there because they're just going to throw a shit ton of money at him. Don't know if they even have the cap. I don't care about the Browns at all.
And I
still don't care about the Browns with Deshaun Watson and DeAndre Hopkins. It doesn't matter. Yeah, please go there.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Ruin the Browns more.
All right. Well, we touched on the news. We're here for a special reason. Dave, you have the first overall pick in the all-time fantasy football draft. This is some pressure, bro.
It is a lot of pressure. It's a lot of pressure. I'm gonna go somewhere, and I feel like a lot of people aren't gonna like this pick, but I'm gonna go there anyway. With the first overall pick, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna take some Rob Gronkowski. Because here's the thing. I know everybody hates this pick already. I just feel like there's such a plethora of talent in the running back wide receiver market for this draft that I just want that.
Jesus, right in the throat.
15 touchdowns a season, 1,200 yards. Give me Rob Gronkowski.
I think it's a good pick because there's truly, I mean,
You're not wrong about that.
I pretty much
A lot of
penciled out.
talent. A lot of talent.
Lot of talent.
The five, in my opinion, there's like 5 or 6 tight ends to be drafted, right? As opposed to
For sure.
plenty of other options. So I don't think that's a bad pick at all. So
I don't either.
first overall pick, Rob Gronkowski. Good job. I like it. He was my number 1 tight end. He would have been my number 1 tight end. So
Yep, that was mine too. So
we'll save the others. So John, Gronk off the board. What are you thinking?
I'm going to go with Peyton Manning.
Oh,
that's a good pick too.
539 touchdowns.
Love that.
I was torn. I can't say who I was torn between because I'm going to hope he gets back to me. But I'm happy with Peyton Manning there for sure.
What a crazy draft already. Literally,
I know.
fantasy football forever was about running backs, and currently it's more about receivers. And the first 2 picks are tight end and
a quarterback.
Love it.
I will say the one I was debating between was a running back.
Well, I'm probably going to take him here. Maybe
No,
because
not.
what I'm going to take is I think easily could go down in history as the greatest fantasy football player of all time, running back of all time. Defined a whole generation of talent, and I'm going with LaDainian Tomlinson.
I knew you were going to go there, and I was going to say that, and I was going to take him, but I knew you were going to do that. That's okay. I got a backup plan.
Yeah, so it's hard to beat. I think that LT is just and honestly, like, and remember too, like, we can draft your favorite players. Just, even a guy that had one good year. You know what I mean? It doesn't. We're not going by career. Just whatever who you guys
Right.
think are the best or your favorite. So LT is actually somebody I didn't really get much of because he was always a first round.
Always a first round. But from the years that he played football, he was a first overall pick or second overall pick or whatever. But forever, the entire time he played football, that's a great pick.
And I always get picked late. So I mean, but LT on my team, I can't beat it. So we're moving on to you, Adam.
All right. So I had the same thought process as Dave did about going for a tight end because you're absolutely right about the plethora of talent in all the other positions. My first pick, 4th overall, I'm picking Tony Gonzalez.
Let's go.
I'm going Tony Gonzalez. He had a great career on 2 teams with Atlanta and Kansas City. Just a solid guy overall. He's on my team. I'm taking him. First pick.
I love Tony G.
Same.
I love you too, Dave. Oh,
he was another one that I didn't get a whole lot of back in the day. Like I said, I've only been playing since 2009. He had a lot of good years left in him still, but Tony G, man, get on my team.
Good pick. All right, Jay, you're closing out the first round. What's your first round pick?
Jerry Rice.
Oh,
There we go.
That's a good pick. Yep.
Go in the GOAT. That's
What a bum.
There's no argument, right? Like,
there's zero argument for that pick right there. Zero.
My guy.
Okay, and then it's he had long career too, almost 20 years.
Yeah.
So you're taking the Raiders version of Jerry Rice, right?
Yeah, exactly.
No, you get his whole career. All right, first round: Gronkowski, Peyton Manning, LaDainian Tomlinson, Tony Gonzalez, Jerry Rice. 2 tight ends in the first round. Wow, that's surprising. All right,
And
Jay,
one
start off
running
round
back.
2. Let's keep it rolling.
This is gonna be controversial, but I'm taking Steve Young for the connection.
Hey,
Let's go.
there you go. That's not controversial at all, man. They had a great connection in San Francisco.
I thought Steve Young was such an underrated. Like, he was kind of like a modern day quarterback now. Big, scramble, get out,
Yeah.
make plays. Big fan of Steve Young. So you got that connection. So, and it's funny to see you go with the Steve Young connection over the Joe Montana. So
Yeah.
it's there for you. All right, Adam, what you
The
got?
better running ability.
That is true, very much.
Yeah.
All right. So my next pick, I'm gonna go with Randy Moss.
Yeah,
Nice.
of course.
I got to take Randy Moss there. Need a wide receiver. He had a great career. Vikings, even when he was with Tom Brady. They didn't win a Super Bowl with Randy Moss, but he still had phenomenal fantasy numbers. Fantastic receiver. I mean, they still to this day, when somebody makes a catch over somebody, they say you got Moss, and you can't ignore that. So,
Yeah,
Randy Moss.
and honestly, I'm gonna be controversial and say that I think Randy Moss is the GOAT. So
I'd
it's
love
hard to
me some
argue.
Randy Moss. Yeah, I got a story about Randy Moss real quick.
Go for it.
And when first years in the Patriots, when he set the record, right? I drafted Randy Moss as my last overall pick, and I got booed for that pick for obvious reasons. As well, we're all an entire community of Bills fans, but yeah, I took Randy Moss in the record-setting year in
25
round.
touchdowns.
Yeah, 25 touchdowns, round 17, and I got booed for it. And it was the greatest pick I've ever made in fantasy football.
It is
Love
awesome.
it.
That is awesome. Okay, well, what I'm going to do then, since the position got thin quickly, I'm going to take who could end his career as the greatest fantasy football tight end ever and take Travis Kelce.
There you go. Good pick.
Solid pick.
Like, I know, I would have took Gronk first, but there's a good chance that, Kelsey's still going strong. So
Yeah.
there's a good chance this guy could be the GOAT. He's already on his way to be the GOAT. So Travis Kelce for me. And we're moving on to John.
Well, I think you just changed my pick for my running back again, and now I'm going to have to also go tight end because I feel like there's only one left that I want, and I'm going to take Antonio Gates here.
Yep.
Oh,
Good choice. I was debating between him and
there's a lot of running
but I
backs
like
left,
Tony's
so I'm not
better.
too worried about them yet.
you know what's funny about Antonio Gates is I forgot about him. I didn't even write him down on my short list. I forgot about him.
I only had 5 written down, so it's funny.
Yeah, I did. I had 5, but it wasn't him. Well, he wasn't one of them. But All right, all right, Dave. So give me your final pick of round 2.
All right, I got my tight end locked up, so I gotta start going elsewhere. I just have such a love for this player. Ladies and gentlemen, with the second round pick for Team Zags, give me some Megatron, Mr. Calvin Johnson.
Good
You
choice.
son of a bitch.
Yo, gotta
He
do
was my
it.
next pick.
I gotta do it. I
He was
gotta
my
do
next
it.
pick. Damn
think
it, Dave.
For obvious reasons. I mean, if you want a dude that's just going to get you 1,500 yards and 12 touchdowns every season, automatic. Give me 140 catches on the season. Let's go.
Unreal. Great pick.
When I
Yeah, I
wrote
love
down
that.
when I wrote down my receiver list, 1 was Moss, 2 was Megatron. So
Yep.
it's
Nice.
I can't argue. All right, we're making good time. So Dave, why don't you start off round 3?
Okay. I feel like there's only one place left for me to go. And I'm, the people aren't gonna like this pick. I don't think, because the end of the career was pretty bad. But for a long time, number 1 overall. Give me some AP. Give me Adrian Peterson all day. My number 1 RB spot. Let's go.
It's
yeah, I mean, he had a down few years at the end of his career, but I mean, throughout when he was a Minnesota Viking, you couldn't go wrong.
but
Couldn't go wrong with
down a
AP.
few years. I mean, he was like 37. Like
Yeah.
running backs fall
I
off
know,
at like
that's what I mean.
27.
Yeah.
Right.
Did you
Yeah,
come
and he
back?
went for a long time. Coming back from
Torn ACL.
knee injuries and to still put up
2003.
numbers after a knee injury like that. Great pick.
Great pick for sure. All right, Dave, start so far. Gronkowski, Megatron, Adrian Peterson. You could actually literally have this team in like 2010.
Yeah, I
Right.
really could. Yeah, I'm going back to my glory days of when I was just like a rookie fantasy player and didn't know anything and just drafted from the newspaper listings and just miraculously won for no reason.
All right, perfect. All right, John, you started with Peyton Manning and Antonio Gates, so you got the 2 smaller positions out of the way. So where are we going from here?
I'm gonna go with a running back here. Is this only the second running back? Is Tomlinson the only one gone?
He just took AP.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm going to take the third one then. And I'm going to go with the real MVP of the greatest show on turf, Marshall Falk.
Yes, sir.
Choice.
Nice. Nicely
I feel
done.
like he was the first one to start catching passes like a wide receiver and still getting over 1,000 yards rushing every year. I didn't look up his touchdown totals, but he's got to be up there with his touchdown totals also. But
Oh,
man,
for sure.
every single week when he was getting drafted, he would just put my monster numbers.
And a former MVP at running back, which barely happens anymore.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Great choice.
I think
All right.
AP's the last one, right?
Did AP win it when he ran for 2000? He might have.
I think he won it in 09 or something like that.
Yeah, but
I'm pretty
good-
sure AP won an MVP.
But very good choice. So what I'm going to do is I could probably get him later, but I'm just going to do it now just because this feller is without a doubt my favorite fantasy football player of all time, and just somebody that I gunned for every year. There's a little hiccup in the middle of his career, but then at the end he was even better, and it's controversial, but he brought the most excitement to fantasy football and quite possibly the NFL in my lifetime ever, and I'm going with Michael Vick.
Let's go.
That was a good pick. Not only could he throw the ball with the flick of a wrist, 80 yards down the field, but his running ability is like no other quarterback we've ever seen.
The
Throwing on the
That's a
run
good pick.
too.
yeah.
Throwing on the run was stellar.
Yep.
That's solid pick.
As good of a runner as Lamar Jackson today, but as big as an arm as Josh Allen today. Like he had it all. And of course, there's the controversial stuff of his illegal activities, but the man served his time and came back even better than ever. And that like 2010, 2011, Michael Vick was just out of his mind. And I'm happy to bring him to my team.
And the poise in the pocket, I feel like that's got to be touched on Michael Vick. He was the first like mobile quarterback that I just remember seeing like, you cannot sack this dude. Like he was just back there, like dodging and weaving, and like just crazy watching that guy play football.
And
The ability to extend the
NFL
play is
defenders
just
run into each other.
Yeah,
That was incredible to watch.
yeah,
it really was.
And I remember like his rocket arm in one play, like in the corner of the end zone. This is when he was like still on the Eagles. He was older. He rocketed a ball. The guy jumped, caught it, and like the ball knocked him on the ground. Like
Yeah.
it was just he threw it so powerful. Like you hear that about Brett Favre and stuff like that, but you don't hear it about Michael Vick. So Michael Vick's on my team. My start, LaDainian Tomlinson, Travis Kelce, Michael Vick. And we're moving on to Adam.
All right, I'm gonna go another wide receiver here, and I'm gonna take one of the guys that is part of the best quarterback wide receiver duo of all time. I'm gonna take Marvin Harrison.
Ooh, okay.
Let's go.
You son of a bitch.
I know you took Peyton Manning. He was on my list of quarterbacks to take, but when you said Peyton Manning, I had to go Marvin Harrison
I
here.
thought I was getting him for
Outstanding
sure.
career. So many touchdowns between the two of them. You can't go wrong.
Damn you.
All right, Adam.
And he retired in I think 2008. So it was the year after I started playing the year before I started playing fantasy football. So, but I'll take Marvin Harrison all day.
All right. Well, Adam start, Tony Gonzalez, Randy Moss, Marvin Harrison, living in the past a lot, but that's cool.
I am.
An all-time draft. And speaking of living in the past, we're going to Jay.
I'm going to take Emmett Smith.
Living in the past. I mean,
Living in the
all-time leading
past.
rusher, right?
Yep,
Yeah.
that's true.
Not a bad pick. And you know, Emmett did catch some passes, but he wasn't as dynamic. But that's just because they didn't use that. They didn't use him that way. There's no reason to believe that he couldn't have been as effective as like Marshall Faulk.
Yeah.
Right.
All right, Jay, your start. You are starting with the NFC of the early 1990s of Jerry Rice, Steve Young, and Emmett Smith. So,
Love it.
Where you going from there, Jay? Round 4.
Shannon Sharp.
Okay,
Nice.
we're sticking with that early
Okay.
90s. Shannon Sharp, by the way, was the guy that I had on my list over Antonio Gates that I forgot about. So Shannon Sharp. A lot of people are going to say Kellen Winslow's senior, but that's early 80s. Shannon Sharp to me was like the first receiving tight end in like my memories as a little kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me too.
So that's a great pick. And then we're moving on to Adam.
Back to me already. Oh wow, Jay, you were pretty quick there. All right.
That's what she said.
Ayo.
Every time. All right. I am gonna go with a quarterback here, and as much as I hate the guy, you can't disrespect anything that he did in his career. I'm taking Tom Brady.
Yeah, great.
I'm taking Tom Brady. You know, I got to hook him up with Randy Moss.
Of course. Great pick. I mean, I think actually, you know, in the little bit of research I did, I didn't do too much, but I think technically Tom Brady has the most fantasy football points ever.
Yeah.
I don't doubt it.
I don't doubt it either.
So, and there's nothing to say you have a record-breaking year in 2007, and you have longevity 21 years, right? So possibly 22. We'll see with the Raiders. So
Well, we will see.
he made his Tom Brady pick, and he fucking walked off. He's gone. That's just like a fucking home run shot. Peace. Okay, so I got running back, I got tight end, I got quarterback. Do I make the jump into receiver? You know what? Yeah, I'm gonna make a jump into the receiver, and like I'm pairing him with another, I guess, controversial pick here. We're gonna sit here and remember the end of his career and his fucking madness, but there's no doubt that the greatest receiver of this last generation after Megatron is Antonio Brown.
You're taking my guy, you cocksucker, man.
So Antonio Brown is as fucking insane as he is now, and I don't mean that because it's just he is crazy, and
Yes, you do.
I hope he figures it out. But as a player, as my number one wide receiver in the 4th round, give me some Antonio Brown.
Great pick. I had him. So in one of my leagues, I had first overall pick like two years in a row. Antonio Brown was my first pick. Got to keep him for the next year, and then again, I ended up drafting him number 1 overall again. So I love the Antonio Brown pick.
In my lifetime, until recently, but in my lifetime, the first overall pick was always a running back, or maybe somebody would go crazy with the quarterback. But Antonio Brown was the first player I can ever remember being a receiver going first overall in actual fantasy drafts about 5 years ago. So, and that's the truth. And we're moving on to John.
At the time that I picked him too. So
now that I snaked John.
I'm up.
Yeah, now that I snaked you.
All right, well, you guys both got me, so I'm gonna move. All right, I'm gonna go with the receiver here, and he doesn't. I'm just gonna say his name. We're just gonna go with Terrell Owens
Good
Let's
choice.
go.
as my
Love
number one
that.
receiver at this point. I lost out on Marvin Harrison. I lost out on Antonio Brown. I'm happy to get T.O. because when he was in his prime, he was guaranteed 1,200 yards, 90 catches, 10 touchdowns a season, pretty much.
Must watch.
For sure.
A must watch player, and like we think of his antics, but the guy was dominant and might have been like his run, his Super Bowl in 2004 after coming off the broken leg is just memorable. So
And,
great.
and
It was the Patriots versus Terrell Owens in that game.
yes, it was. And
And
unfortunately,
and you get a twofer with Terrell Owens. If you got T.O. on your team, not only do you get the joy of getting the touchdown points, but then you also get to see what crazy celebration he's pulling out afterwards, which is just like an extra bang for your buck.
which
Selling tickets.
it happens today, but it was better when T.O. did it. Not because I'm an old man yelling at a cloud, but it was different because he was like the only one. Now every player and everybody does something weird.
Yeah.
So it was like you look forward to see what he did, as opposed to nowadays it's like, oh, there's 17 people in front of the camera in the end zone.
He was the original.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. The OG.
Oh, okay, Dave. So how you ending round 4 here?
I mean, I guess I'm gonna change my team name to like Team All Star 2011, but I'm gonna go back to the well here, and I'm gonna grab me some Julio Jones. Like, I feel like it's just an easy tandem, right? I'm rocking Megatron, some Julio. Julio led the league in receptions, in yardage, I believe 4 years, if I remember the stats correct. Easy touchdown getter, easy target for Matty Ice for a long time. Give me some Julio Jones.
I agree. And I think Julio Jones might be one of the receivers who would get you 150 plus yards almost every week. And sometimes he was on the lower end of the touchdown totals, but those yards and those catches that he would get, that's just massive points in PPR.
Yes, it's security too. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
You plop Julio Jones in your lineup, you're not getting that, that random 4 burger where you're like,
Right.
damn, that was waste.
And dominant for a long time. I think he was just the first round pick like 2 years ago, still in fantasy football.
Yeah, for a long time.
He's kind of fell off. I don't think he's technically retired, but Julio is a great pick, definitely a Hall of Famer. And Dave, why don't you start off round 5? We are about to get halfway done here.
I mean, I'm gonna keep the train rolling. We really need to change my team name. I really do believe it. But I think I'm gonna be, since the wide receiver well is getting a little dry here, I think I'm gonna fill out my flex right now. Grab me some Andre Johnson.
A choice.
Yeah, I'm gonna grab me some Andre Johnson right here in the flex.
I like it.
And I just gotta say that Megatron, Julio, and Andre Johnson, if this was 2011, my team would be stacked. So yeah, I'm doing that.
Great choice. Very underrated receiver, stuck with David Carr basically his whole career, but I don't know if he's there, but I think he's going to be a Hall of Famer. So
I believe
be a Hall of
so.
Famer.
Yeah, I believe so. The touchdown total wasn't anything crazy, but consistently Andre Johnson was, first
He was a
round.
monster.
Yeah, he was a monster. First round wide receiver, just on amount of receptions alone. I mean, that guy, he'll get you 12. He'll get you 12 catches a game. So, but,
and unlike your last round pick, he was very healthy his whole career, as opposed to Julio.
You're right. Yeah.
Julio was healthy. He started having a lot of injury issues towards the end of his career. I mean, like any older receiver would, but I mean, yeah, he was a guy that was constantly out there, and he was constantly putting up big points. I had him on my list as well. He was going to be my flex. I didn't think you'd pick him right now.
So Dave with the 3 receiver set and the tight end. Look at this guy. All right.
I know.
All right, John, we're moving into you, buddy.
I'm going to keep the wide receiver train going here, and I had to try to get a combo. Still a Hall of Famer, not the one I wanted, but I'm going to go with Reggie Wayne.
Okay.
That's okay. He still had a great year.
A great year.
Great years, I meant.
Years, plural.
Honestly, out of the 2, I know Harrison's a little more lauded. I personally think Reggie Wayne was the better receiver, but
Wayne was better.
it is what it is. I just think talent-wise, when I think of and it is. I mean, it's not arguing; it's arguing salt and pepper, right? But it's like, to me, when I think of Marvin Harrison, and it's a certain type of receiver. I get it. Marvin Harrison was like, I'm open, I catch the ball, I fall down, and that's it.
Yeah.
Where Wayne is beating defenses, beating guys on the slant, making big plays. Two different types of receivers, right? But to me, I just thought Wade was better. But they're both great picks. So I guess I'm up, right? And this receiver's getting thin. So yeah, I'm gonna keep the receiver train going, and I'm gonna go with quite possibly the most underrated receiver of his generation, and the generation was a long time, and I'm going with Larry Fitzgerald.
Let's go.
You son of a bitch.
That's a good pick.
Yeah, I mean, he just always
He was on my list as well.
always there, always good. When he got elite quarterback play, okay, Carson Palmer, but you know what I'm saying. When he got much better, quarterback play, the guy was fantastic. And Kurt Warner too, right? Didn't they have him with?
He had Kurt Warner, yeah.
with both.
Arizona.
So once they upgraded to those, the guy was unstoppable. Up until what? 2 years ago? 3 years ago. He's still putting up 1,000 yards.
Basically.
So, yeah,
Something like
Larry
that.
Fitzgerald on my team, and that made me happy.
Nice. Well, so it's me, right?
Yes, sir.
I am continuing with the wide receiver train. I'm going to pick my flex, and I'm going to go within the last few years now, and I'm going to take one of the best wide receivers in the league today in Justin Jefferson,
Wow.
because I want that guy on my team every single year. He's a number 1 overall pick in a lot of drafts, and Chaz and I did a best ball draft recently, just finished up last week maybe.
Yeah.
And I ended up taking him first overall in that. Yeah, give me Justin Jefferson. Guy puts up numbers even with Kirk Cousins, and Kirk Cousins is not as bad as people think he is. He just doesn't have the rap sheet that all these other quarterbacks do. But give me Justin Jefferson all day.
That's definitely. I mean, that's 3 years of success, but hey, that's okay because there's players that have had, Shannon
It's the best
Sharp.
3 years of success any receiver's ever had. bro,
Right. So
Yeah.
okay, we had to give that just.
I will say I feel like that's a pretty safe pick. I don't feel like Mr. Justin Jefferson's going anywhere anytime soon.
I don't think so either.
I agree completely. All right, we're going to Jay to close out round 5.
Well, it's gonna be another wide receiver. I'm gonna take Tim
early
Brown.
90s. Let's see. Jay is getting all these early 90s. He is gonna go with
in the 90s.
Who's he going with from the early 90s? Oh, Michael Irvin, right?
Tim Brown.
No,
Tim Brown? That you said Tim Brown, right, Jay?
Yeah.
Okay, I love it as a
Yeah, I know you do.
So Tim Brown, he was on my list. So all right, so you got Jerry Rice and Tim Brown and Emmitt Smith and Steve bro. At least you got an AFC.
Jay's just keeping it old school.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jay's keeping it old school. Dave is keeping it like middle school.
I'm team 2011, and then we got like team 1985.
That's probably more like 90.
90. Yeah.
All right. Well, Jay, are you keeping it going, bro? What do you got?
I'm gonna take Le'Veon Bell here.
Okay, coming
Yeah.
back.
like
Great pick though.
That's a good pick.
I
He
was waiting for it.
one of the best running backs to play.
Yeah,
He-
for sure.
He fucked up
Yeah, he
his
fucked
career
up
by
big
holding
time.
out, trying to get more money, and then took less money, and just
No.
his career
He
was.
got a lot of money from the Jets.
Yeah, he did.
So
Wasn't it? I thought it was
They get
less than.
paid.
I'm pretty sure it was less than he wanted from the Steelers, though.
It was less, but he still got.
I mean, he still got paid. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
He did. But
and especially
the
fantasy
holdout,
football,
that holdout hurt him.
Yeah.
receptions and
Leaving the Steelers hurt him too. So I mean,
Yeah, he was in a great spot for his game. He should have just stayed.
and I feel like
Great pick, though.
he fell as soon as he went to the Jets, just fell off the face of the earth. So great pick. I like it. And we're moving back to Adam.
Back to me. I'm going to take my first running back here. I'm going to go with another old school guy. Ended his career a little shorter because the Detroit Lions wouldn't trade him. But I'm going with Barry Sanders. One of the most elusive backs in the league at the time. Just get on my team, please.
I love this pick.
I would love Barry Sanders and any fantasy team.
You finally got me back on a couple of these picks here because I
Yes.
wanted Barry. I wanted Barry so bad. I almost went Barry Sanders over Andre Johnson, but I had to do it.
Yeah, it's hard to bet against Barry Sanders there. It's a great pick. I mean, you know, in the discussion for greatest running back of all time, right? So
yeah,
definitely.
And for me, I'm gonna go with a running back here, modern, and it's not fantasy relevant necessarily as receptions, but this guy could go down possibly as one of the most gifted size speed running backs of all time. And give me King Henry.
No arguments there.
I know none from me either, except for I was going to take him. I was debating, but I had to go with Barry. That's a good pick.
I just love King Henry.
Also on my team for this best ball league that we're in.
That's right. And like I say, people are like down on King Henry. The guy was second in the league in rushing yards again last year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know he doesn't make a lot of receptions, but in a league where running backs catch the ball is more prevalent than ever, the guy that doesn't catch is always a first round pick until this year. Basically,
Yep.
Now it seems like he's fallen to the second. So, I mean, he is, and I always like to preface this with King Henry is if you look at like the Buffalo Bills running backs last year, average size was what, like 5'9", 200 pounds. Derrick Henry is 6'5", 245 pounds. That is literally the size of Hulk Hogan. He's running the football at like a 4.5 speed in the NFL. So I'm happy to have him on my team.
Yeah. No complaints there. The one thing about Derrick Henry too is in the first round, some people really like to go out there and like really swing for the fences. I'm kind of conservative. I love me some consistency in my first round pick. Like I want to know that I'm going to get some value out of that spot. And Derrick Henry, you just set it and forget it, man. You know you're going to get something for the season.
Yeah, I love it. He's one of my favorites of all time. So I'm happy to have him on my team. And we're moving on to John. What you got, John?
I'm kind of torn on this one here. So the length of the career doesn't matter, correct?
I mean,
Correct.
It's just whatever you want. I mean, you could pick the guy could have one amazing year and you put him on your team. It's just your favorite. It's whatever.
Well, I'm going with Bo Jackson because he's like my favorite player of all time.
Damn, that's a good pick.
And
I
he was
almost picked him
ridiculous.
instead of
Good pick,
Barry
yeah.
Sanders too.
I had him on my list.
Yep.
Yeah,
Great pick.
You get some bonus points on off days when he's smacking home runs.
That's right.
Yeah, he didn't have longevity there, but man, was he fun to watch.
Yeah, that's a
And
great.
and the Raiders are banned in Tecmo Bowl in any tournament. You're not allowed to play as Bo Jackson.
To think about how good Bo Jackson was, he came into a team that had the league's leading rusher or close to leading rusher and Hall of Famer Marcus Allen, and basically they were just like, all right, see you, Marcus Allen. So yeah, this is the guy now.
He was so good. He ran so fast and so hard that he blew out his knee running.
Yeah.
Well, yep. It's so awesome. Great pick, John. That's
unreal.
You're getting a star on that one. That's a great
For
pick.
sure.
You get a gold star on that one. All right, Dave. So you pretty much are loaded up on receivers, and you're done with receivers now.
I'm loaded up. Yeah, I'm loaded up. I'm going to the RB well here and grabbing my RB2.
Don't you do it, Dave?
I don't know. I don't know if this is gonna be the one. I don't know if you're thinking what I'm thinking here, but I've never gotten to draft this guy, and I really just want to draft this guy. Give me some Jamal Charles.
Ooh, okay.
I love me some Jamal Charles. Okay. The thing with him is you never know what you're going to get, but you're going to get some points. This dude could have like 32 rushing yards for the whole game, but he also has 154 receiving yards and 4 touchdowns, or like vice versa. He could be 130 on the ground, 3 touchdowns. Like you never know what you're going to get, but you are going to get points. Give me some Jamal Charles.
I mean,
I like it.
Consummate
He was on my list too.
Always first round pick.
You didn't snake him from me, but he was on my list.
I appreciate that.
So we're getting down to the nitty gritty here. We got 3 picks left, right? By my estimations. Remember, you do want to take a second quarterback, and then everyone still needs a kicker, and then whatever else you're dragging. So what you got, Dave?
I hate to do it because I really want to keep this as old school as possible, but I do need a quarterback, and I am going to take Mr. Patrick Mahomes. I just can't not do it. I know much like
I
Justin
agree.
Jefferson, it is kind of early, but I still think, he's proven himself the best might yet be to come. And I feel like first round Hall of Famer. Give me some Pat Holmes.
Yeah, I don't think.
I don't hate that pick. He was on my
two-time-
list.
Yeah, 2-time MVP, 2-time Super Bowl. He has the greatest season all time quarterback wise.
He does, yes.
So
I believe so. Yeah.
great pick. I think Jefferson's more controversial than Mahomes. I don't think Mahomes is at all a bad, and I don't think either are bad. But
I really wanted to keep it old school because it's the all-time draft. But yeah, he had to sneak in there. I had to get him in there.
I like
all
it.
right. Well, John, so what are you dragging, John? You're dragging 3 picks right now. What are you dragging? A second QB,
flex, second QB, and a kicker.
All right, that's
and
right.
I'm all over the place on my flex. So I'm going to lock down the second quarterback. I'm going to take Mr. Drew Brees.
You know what? I knew you were going to take him. You always had a big man crush on him.
My man. He's my man.
Yeah, good
The
pick.
model of consistency. He guaranteed 4,000 yards and 30 touchdowns. And toward the end, it was guaranteed 5,000 yards and 40 touchdowns. And, well, not 40 touchdowns, but
Absolutely.
you know what I'm saying.
One memory of Drew Brees I have with John specifically is 10, 12 years ago or something. John and I were in a bigger money league. I think we were paying like $500 a team.
500, yeah.
Yeah, $500 a team. And this is like 12, 13 years ago. So that's a lot of money, right? And so me and John were in this league, on separate teams. John is wearing a Drew Brees jersey at the draft. I picked Drew Brees in the first round. I remember that year, but quarterbacks get big points in that league, so it wasn't uncalled for. And I remember that draft. They took Drew Brees the first round. The championship game was me and John, and we were at Buffalo Wild Wings, and he was wearing the Drew Brees jersey again, and I had Drew Brees, and I beat him for the championship. So I always remember that.
Hey, Tony, why don't you fuck off?
That was a big win, too, man. I probably brought home $25,000, $3,000. That was a great. I missed those.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I told you I hate you.
The
if I
500.
didn't, I hate you.
Hopefully you picked up that Wild Wings tab. Just saying.
I probably didn't because I didn't have the money at that time. All
right,
so we're moving on.
I think he dashed.
We're moving on to me. You know what? I'm just gonna start the kicker run here, just because whatever we need to get one. I'm gonna take Sebastian Janikowski.
Nice.
Go.
I knew you were gonna do that.
I always loved getting him.
Yeah.
Dude has,
Come
I think,
on.
for a while had the record for the longest field goal of all time. When the Raiders had him, they sucked. He kicked a lot of field goals. So give me Seabass.
Team Seabass. I love it.
Nice.
All right, Adam.
So that's back to me. I'm gonna go another running back here. I'm gonna go really old school. Not really old school, but kind of old school. I'm taking Thurman Thomas.
Good choice.
I have to have a Buffalo Bill.
I like it.
Taking Thurman. Just one of the best running backs that the Bills have ever seen. One of the greatest in the league at the time. Give me Thurman.
He was on my list for sure, and he was going to be my flex if you didn't take him. So good
Love
job. All right, Jay, what you got? You got a bunch of early 90s players and Le'Veon Bell. So what do you need still?
QB, flex, and kicker.
Okay, so what you got?
I think I'm gonna fill my flex. I'm gonna take Cooper Kupp.
Ooh,
That's a good pick.
Yeah.
fantastic pick. Everybody, all the 5 of us in this room, all of you listening at home, are sleeping on Cooper Kupp this year. Cooper
We
Kupp
definitely
last year, without a shadow of a doubt, the number 1 wide receiver. Maybe Justin Jefferson. The guy gets hurt. Now it's like Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, Tyreek Hill. Cooper Kupp's there. Whatever. We're all sleeping on him. Everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody. So, all right, Jay, what you got to start the second to last round?
Oh, you're not gonna be shocked by this, but I'm gonna take Justin Herbert here for my backup QB.
On the all-time list, he takes Justin Herbert.
Hey, he's my guy.
He is your guy.
It's favorites.
He is your guy. Yep.
So
This is favoritism. So, all right. So we've got Jay. You only got one more pick to come, and you're going to end the draft next round. But Adam, what are you looking at?
Well, I'm going to save my kicker for the next round, as most people do in their drafts. I'm going to take my second quarterback here. I wanted Mahomes, but that's okay. I'm actually going to take Brett Favre here.
Let's go.
Brett Favre won an excellent career, and even towards the end of it, he was still throwing darts to his receivers. Excellent career, despite all the controversy that he's got going on this day and age. But give me Brett Favre.
Okay, great pick. I'm surprised. Oh, I hit the wrong drop. Damn it! I'm surprised that you didn't go with crybaby Aaron Rodgers at all.
You know, I thought about it, and I thought about taking that 2009 draft Tom Brady Aaron Rodgers combination, but I went with his predecessor, Brett Favre.
All right. Well, I'm going to take my second quarterback, and I'm going to leave my flex to the end because I have a feeling I'm going to get my flex. And if somebody snakes my flex, I'll be pissed. But we're going to leave him for the end. And I'm going to go with another guy who Michael Vick was version 1. Version 2 came out, exciting player, can do everything Michael Vick did, but just bigger and stronger. And give me Cam Newton.
Oh, I knew that was coming. I knew you were going to take my pick right there.
So I'm very happy with Vick and Cam Newton.
Let's go.
For sure.
So,
I even had it planned out. I was gonna take Newton, and then I was gonna do the Superman. Dude, screwed me.
Got him.
Got him.
You just crushed his dreams, man.
Really, dude, my team would have been so stacked.
He just wanted to do the Superman, pull the shirt open,
No.
I love it. All right, John. What are you looking at? Oh, you're muted. Come on back, buddy. There he is.
Sorry, I was in there. All right. Since I'm still torn on my flex, I'm going to back it up and send it to the last round, and I'm going to go with the kicker, and I'm going to take Mr. Justin Tucker.
Oh, you son of a bitch! That was my pick too.
Let's go.
Number one rated kicker of all time, right?
Right.
Always. Yeah, for sure. It's okay. I got another one though.
And just so everybody knows, no, never mind. I was going to say I'm pissed about my second quarterback position, but I'm not. But anyway, carry on.
All right, Dave. Finish up the second to last round. What are you going with?
I'm finishing it off. Obviously I need my QB2 slot, and I'm just gonna throw this out here to just a real awesome, I just love this dude. He just seems like such a nice guy and such an amazing player. And since you took Cam Newton, I'm kind of forced into this. Give me some Andrew Luck. I love me some Andrew Luck, man. He was consistent. He was touchdown totals, and just off the field, just seemed like such a nice guy. Plus, he's playing in a dome, so you never had to worry about weather or none of that nonsense. Right. Yeah, give me some Andrew Luck. I'm doing that.
Great pick. Love that.
Pick. All right. So we'll get our last round in, and then we'll go over our teams individually and talk about them. So, all right, Dave, last round. What do you need? Your kicker?
Last round, need my kicker. And there is only one kicker that I can think of for this spot because it's the kicker that was number one for pretty much as long as I've been playing fantasy football. Give me some Steven Gostkowski.
Okay, that's not who I was thinking.
That's not who you were thinking.
Me neither.
No, it's not.
All right.
That's good.
Okay.
That's good.
All right. Yeah. Give me some Steven Gostkowski. He was like a set it and forget it kicker. I always just grabbed him. And he always did me real well. So I'm still riding that train, even in the all-time draft.
That 2011 train. All right. All right.
I mean,
John.
when the Patriots were scoring like crazy, he was just kicking field goals left.
Yeah, for sure. All right, John, let's finish it up with your final pick. What is it? What do you need?
All right.
I believe
This is my flex.
Flex.
And since nobody has taken the man yet, and he's arguably the best running back of all time, I'll take the late, great Jim Brown.
That's a good choice.
Nice. Good choice. R.I.P.
That's not what I was going to go with, but he was definitely on the short list. The dude led the league in rushing 8 out of 9 years professionally. That's insane.
Dude, over 5 yards a carry. I think it was 5.2 yards a carry or something like that. That's incredible.
In the 50s and 60s when they knew he was coming at you.
Yep.
So
yeah,
great pick, fantastic pick.
It was either him or the juice, but I had to keep the drama off my team. So
I
got Tito on my team.
That's
enough. That's enough to represent my team.
I debated him too. He was on my list, but
you gotta go.
Had to go Thurman.
I gotta go.
All right, thanks, John.
See you, John.
All right, boys.
See ya.
Later,
That was perfect. That was ended up being perfect.
Perfect timing. Yep.
Okay, so now I also had the
Jez.
juice. I had the juice on my list here too, but I already have some controversy with Michael Vick, so we're gonna leave the juice off the team for this one. But so this is my flex position, and I looked at it as flex in general, and I was thinking back about flex. Who I like to put in the flex position, and one of my favorite players I ever would draft every year if I could get him, and he would be my ultimate flex. And he's not a Hall of Famer, and everyone's gonna be like, "What?" But you're gonna know it when I say this guy was the ultimate flex, and I'm going with Danny Woodhead.
Let's go.
Wow. Okay.
I love Danny Woodhead.
Let's
Interesting.
Danny Woodhead is the guy you put in your flex. And by the end of the game, he's by the start of like 5 minutes left of the fourth quarter, he has 4 points. And at the end of the game, he has 27 points.
Mr. John Connor himself.
I love you. You're right. He does look like him.
He looks
I
a
loved,
lot like John Connor.
I loved Danny Woodhead so much as my flex. And you know what? Like I said, it's just your favorites, you know? Danny Woodhead's not a Hall of Famer, but for fantasy football, he was a favorite of mine. And I want to put him on my team. And my team is done. And we're
I
moving
love
on to
that.
All right. My last pick. Not the Steven Gostkowski, which is fine. I'm gonna go with this kicker who is number 2 on the list, Adam Vinatieri.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking too.
Okay.
Right.
I mean, that guy just kicked so many field goals and long field goals, and again, the Colts were just scoring at will. Peyton Manning, and the points were there.
Inarguable great pick. And Jay's going to pick a kicker from the early 90s. So he's going with Steve, I'm guessing.
I'm gonna take Jason Elam.
Yeah. There
He
we
was
go.
my other choice. I was debating between the two.
Kicking in the thin air of Colorado for a little bit there.
I love the Elam pick. Yeah.
For sure.
That's a solid pick.
I mean, he held the record for the longest kick until Justin Tucker came around. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, he did. And then Sebastian Janikowski beat it. And then Tucker beat it. Or
Is that what it was?
Sebastian
Okay.
tied it. It's like
either way, I think he tied it. Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah.
I don't think he ever beat it, but he tied it.
You're right. And then Tucker did it. So we between three of us, we have the all-time biggest kicks in the NFL.
I like it.
All right. So let's go over our teams. You guys still got time, right?
Yeah, we're good,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, so let's go over our teams. We'll just go over John's team because he's not here, and we'll pick on him. No, for those of you at home, John was working.
Yes, we will.
He's a brave fireman, and he had to go on a call. So we wish him luck out there on that. And we'll go with John's team. We got John's team quarterbacks. He's got Peyton Manning as the starter and Drew Brees as the backup, and you could arguably switch those at any point, right?
For sure.
Awesome. For running backs, you're looking at John's running backs are Marshall Falk and Bo Jackson.
Let's go.
Fantastic.
I love that.
Huge pick. I love that too.
And as a flex, he's got Jim Brown. So
Can't go wrong.
awesome. His running back or his receivers are Terrell Owens and Reggie Wayne, and his tight end is Antonio Gates. So I mean, you can't beat it. I think Jim Brown was a great pick, but that pick of Bo Jackson for me on John's team was awesome.
Yeah, it was for sure. He was on my list too. I was gonna pick him, but
So
didn't get a chance to.
if nobody else had any words about John's team, we
Oh.
can move on and
Definitely a
dissect
championship
Dave's team.
contender for sure.
Yeah.
That's a contender. Yeah, I got no. As much as we want to pick on him, I got nothing bad
know.
to say.
Same.
I got nothing bad to say about it.
Great
Yeah.
picks.
Great picks.
All right, Dave, let's hear your team. What you got?
So QB1, QB2, we got a little Pat Mahomes, a little Andrew Luck. RBs, we're going with the little all day Adrian Peterson and Jamal Charles. Wide receivers, we got Megatron and Julio Jones. Tight end, Rob Gronkowski. My flex, Mr. Andre Johnson, and my kicker, Mr. Steven Gostkowski. And when you say it all together like that, wow, 2011, team 2011, let's go.
Other than your quarterbacks.
Other than my quarterbacks, but
I mean, you know what? It could be almost your quarterbacks. We'll just call it Team 2012.
yeah, 2012, team
There you go.
2012, and Pat Mahomes in the 2012s.
Yeah. I like it. I mean, you going with Gronk first overall, you said it was controversial, but I don't think so.
I don't think so either. I mean,
No.
we all know what he did for years.
Yeah. I mean, it's setting the tone in a draft like this is just a big burden. It's a lot of weight on your shoulders. So maybe it wasn't as controversial as I thought, but I just think you get the jitters, so you throw out any pick first in a draft like this, and you get a little nervous. But dude, just consistency to the max.
Hell yeah.
You can't beat it.
All right. We'll go with my team. I got Michael Vick and Cam Newton at quarterbacks, LaDainian Tomlinson and King Henry at running backs, Antonio Brown and Larry Fitzgerald as receivers, Travis Kelce as tight end, Sebastian Janikowski as kicker, and my favorite flex of all time, Danny Woodhead.
Let's go.
Very nice.
I like it.
I like it. It's well rounded. It's actually there's not a lot of old school because Jay took all the old people, but I'll take it. Adam, what are you looking at?
All right. QB1, QB2, I got Tom Brady, Brett Favre. Can't go wrong with either of those guys. Running backs, I have Barry Sanders and Thurman Thomas. And we go to wide receivers, Randy Moss, Marvin Harrison. Tight end, Tony Gonzalez. Kicker, Adam Vinatieri. And my flex, Double J, Justin Jefferson.
I love it. I love the Thurman pick. That was a snake.
Yeah, that was a snake. I
had to take it. Had to go with the Buffalo Bill.
I got to throw it out there. Your team's looking pretty nasty right now. I would not want to face that team week 1 of any situation.
Let's be fair. I wouldn't want to play any of these teams.
I'd say I was just going to say
that's
that.
true.
We all have solid teams, and I wouldn't want to face any of these guys in fantasy.
All right, Jay. Let's hear your team.
All right, for QBs, I got Steve Young, Justin Herbert. Running backs, I got Emmitt Smith, Le'Veon Bell. Wide receivers, I got Jerry Rice and Tim Brown. Shannon Sharp at tight end. Elon at kicker, and then Cooper Kupp as my flex.
That Cooper Kupp just throws everything off because you got all these other old guys. And then Cooper Kupp coming. I love it. I love the team. The league lead, the career leading rusher. Great, and the career leading receiver. Actually, you got both.
I just point out, Jay, I love your unfinished drywall backdrop that you got going on, and it's just absolutely fantastic. Mine's not great either, but I got the Buffalo Bills blanket back there hanging up. Dave's got his set up.
We got
the studio at Chaz's place, and then we got Jay with just the unfinished drywall. It's just absolutely fantastic.
Construction life, man.
That's right.
Yeah, well, see, me and Dave are the professionals here. I mean, the professional fantasy football players.
Right.
I don't know about that.
That's why we win all the time, right?
No. Yeah, no.
I'm so lost on my drops. I haven't done this in a long time. Jeez.
I know. We took a few weeks off there.
You know what? You know how many wins my team is going to have, guys?
Unlimited.
That many.
Unlimited.
All right, so we did it. Happy 1 year anniversary, everybody.
Yeah. Fantasy Football Bros been in business for 1 year.
Hell yeah.
It's awesome, man.
And Dave's been wanting to join us. Dave lives far from me, and it's tough. But now we could do this. Sometimes Dave can join us whenever.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
dude. Yeah, no. I'm super excited.
We got the Zoom figured out, so you're anytime, man.
Thank you guys for having me.
Dave, I want you to plug your stuff because you just recently started a podcast.
I did. Real quick, I was just wondering, maybe if we could do a few honorable mentions.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I was thinking that as well.
Sure, we'll get back to the plugs. Go
yeah.
What's your honorable mentions?
Yeah, we got a couple honorable mentions. Guys that did not make the team, but still, I think deserve a shout out. We got to throw a little shout out for Mr. Arian Foster. Who came out of nowhere and just basically destroyed fantasy teams left and right, being drafted as in the 7th round and then being a stud. And also give me a little MJD. I love me some Maurice Jones-Drew. I love him. I just, obviously not good enough to make it on the teams, but should have been there. And Mr. Jordan Nelson, you can't forget about Mr. Jordan Nelson, number 1 pick for a very long time. And Mr. Wes Welker. Got to shout out Mr. Wes Welker, receptions leader for 10 plus years.
Again, all 2011 players.
I got a story. I got a story about Wes Welker actually, and this was again 2009 in the draft, and this was the year that Ocho Cinco went to the Patriots.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm thinking, wow, I know Chad Johnson. He was great in Cincinnati. He was awesome. Little bit of an ego. Obviously, changed his name to Ocho Cinco, right? Picked him over Wes Welker. Week 1. Wes Welker had a 99-yard reception for a touchdown, and that my season was over right there. That was one of the worst picks I've ever made, minus my 2 quarterbacks. We won't get into that again, but
yeah,
just seeing Wes Welker take that 5-yard dump pass from Tom Brady, 99 yards to the house, completely destroyed me for the entire year.
I mean,
Welker would have been a shout out for me. A guy that I was surprised didn't get drafted, but I think that who did it? Somebody. Oh, it was Antonio Gates maybe instead. But I'm surprised Jimmy Graham didn't get drafted.
I had Jimmy Graham on
Yeah,
my
he
list
was on my
too.
list.
Yeah, I breezed over him a little bit. See what I did there.
Breezed.
He was a consideration, but I did not think he was good enough to make the list.
So a couple of standout quarterbacks that I want to mention. Josh Allen, obviously, but whatever. It's still time to
Sure,
tell.
still young, yeah.
Yep.
Three guys that I always loved to draft back in the day because of their mobile abilities were Mark Brunell, Jeff Garcia, and Tony Romo. Those guys are always good to have on your team, I thought, because I love more of the mobile quarterback things. For running back, if I didn't go with Woodhead, Woodhead was just a homer pick because, again, it's a fantasy football. Obviously,
Sure.
You guys know I would have took Saquon Barkley.
Yeah, love me some Saquon.
Your fantasy crush.
But
your fantasy crush.
Another fantasy crush that I had back in the day, one of my favorite players, especially for like a 2-year period, this guy would give you everything, was Ronnie Brown for the Dolphins.
Yep.
The guy would catch, the guy would run, the guy was throwing touchdowns out of the wild.
And I was going to say, was he the one that when the Dolphins were running the Wildcat that year that they were unstoppable?
Absolutely. So
yep.
to
got a
me,
running back that nobody took that could have definitely made somebody's list. Sean Alexander.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Madden cover winner 2007.
That's right.
Yep.
Yep. 2007. He had great numbers all year. Led the league in touchdowns for a little while until Daniel Thompson, of course. But Sean Alexander was always a solid pick.
Here's 2 1-year wonders from the same team that I'm going to bring to you guys. At tight end, do you guys remember Gary Barnidge?
Yeah.
Gary Barnidge for Cleveland one year had like 15 touchdowns out of nowhere and just fell off the face of the earth. And the same team and Madden cover. What about Peyton Hillis?
I was going to say Peyton Hillis.
Yep.
Give him some love. And then I'm surprised. Here's 3 guys I'm surprised didn't get drafted. OBJ, Torrey Holt, Roddy White.
Had all 3 of them on my list.
Yeah.
I was thinking Isaac Bruce as well in there from the Rams.
Yeah.
Oh, and AJ Green.
AJ Green didn't get picked.
Yeah, I had AJ Green. I had Chris Carter. I had DeAndre Hopkins. Yep. Des Bryant.
Yep.
Des Bryant.
I always forget about him.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about him either.
You know who else I didn't think about till right now? Demarius Thomas.
Yeah. Demarius Thomas.
Yeah.
Or what about Michael Thomas?
Michael Thomas I had on my list too.
Yeah.
I had Steve Smith on my list.
Yep, Steve Smith was on my list as well.
Yep.
Well, Jay, you got some names?
And I think we've covered a bunch of them. So I mean, like all the names that we went over were kind of on my list for the most part.
There were so many good ones that you could.
Yeah.
Larry Johnson.
Yep. Jamal Lewis, running back.
Jamal Lewis.
Ravens. He was on that Ravens team.
Absolutely. So,
yeah.
Well, this was fun, right?
Yeah, no, definitely. This was awesome. This is good.
Definitely the all-time list.
The hardest draft cheat sheet I've ever had to make by far.
You know who we're sleeping on, guys?
Oh, Christian McCaffrey, yeah.
Yep. I had CMC on my list too. David Johnson, Frank Gore, Fred Taylor, Marshawn Lynch. This list is crazy. This list is insane.
Willis McGahee is always one of my favorites. Me and Jay were discussing that.
Terrell Davis.
Yep.
Terrell, yep.
Yeah, so we could have went 10 more rounds, honestly.
Yeah. Steven Jackson, Terrell Davis, Steven Jackson,
solid.
Todd Gurley, Tiki Barber. I mean, this list was crazy, dude.
Yeah, I was fun. I was happy to do this. We're finally getting into more season oriented stuff.
Right.
So this was kind of like my idea for our 1-year anniversary and the kind of the end of the off season. And then moving forward, we're going to be probably recording every week. So for everyone,
sounds good to me.
So Dave can join us whenever he'd like. If we're doing Zoom and if we're getting together, then Dave's going to have to wait, or he's going to have to come to my house.
I mean, right. I can make that happen, dude. I can make it happen. I got my own mic. I'll bring my own mic and everything.
Oh, I got everything.
Look at this guy.
I got you. Don't you worry. I got a big setup. So Well, Dave, now why don't you plug your new podcast and everything?
Yeah, thank you, man. I really do appreciate it, guys. Thank you for having me on the show. I super appreciate it. I've been looking forward to this for a long time. Yeah, if you guys want to check out my podcast, I co-host a podcast with my buddy Adam called Let's Talk Nerdy. Not so much fantasy, but if you're into video games and movies and pop culture and all that stuff,
It's a different kind of fantasy.
Different. If you're into like sword fantasy stuff like that, give us a check out wherever you can get your favorite podcasts. We're there. Video casts on Spotify and YouTube, and Let's Talk Nerdy podcasts on all social media.
Way better production value than us, by the way.
I wouldn't go that far.
That's
I wouldn't
okay.
wouldn't go that far. We wouldn't go that far.
I mean, I'm good with audio, but this video stuff, dang nabbit.
I mean, if you guys are watching the video cast here, all you got to do is just add RGBs. If you think you got enough RGB lights, you just add a couple more. Just keep going until it's good.
That's awesome.
Love it.
And did you like your intro that I gave you? Did you hear it?
Oh yeah, it was fantastic. Yeah, I was excited to see what I was gonna get, so I'm feeling it. I still remember watching that draft. That's by far the greatest way to pick a draft ever.
Every year, we're probably gonna be doing it again this year for both of my leagues. I'm assuming you're coming back to both. So
yeah, I'll be back in both, coming back with a vengeance. Because god dang it, I just want to win one.
And then do the same if you got WWE, make your boys and put them in the game and do it, bro.
I might steal that idea from you.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I might have already bought WWE to steal that idea. So
Hey,
yeah.
Hopefully, we won't have any controversy like we did last time, huh, Chaz?
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
right.
for
With
sure.
Eric
country
Van
music
Houten not
superstar
showing up.
Eric Van Houten not showing up, typical fashion.
Doesn't show up for the draft. Doesn't show up for the Rumble. Asshole. At least Jay put him in his place
He
for the
did.
right to get Jonathan Taylor. Jay,
He
you must
did.
be so happy.
Yep. So thankful for that.
Dave, who you taking first overall right now?
First overall,
Yeah, right now. Who you taking if you're on the clock?
I gotta go Justin Jefferson. I just got to.
You still
Easy.
there, Adam?
I got
Yeah,
to.
100%
It's
there.
easy. It's
Absolutely.
easy.
Yeah,
I gotta do it.
100%.
So there's no
100%.
thought into Jamar Chase?
No thought into
No.
Jamar Chase.
No.
None. No.
No,
because
I'm still going Jefferson.
yeah, I'll tell you what, because like I was super high on Jamar Chase. You know when you draft a dude and like he's good, but he just doesn't do what you want, like you thought you were gonna get out of him, and then you got that spite living in the back of your head for like the rest of his career. That's how I feel about Jamar Chase.
100%.
You mean like in our other league, Dave, where my 1-2 punch off the rift was DeAndre Swift and Jamar Chase?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Where you're just like you're super high. Like I grabbed myself some Jamar Chase. I'm like, I'm gonna just crush in the wide receiver category, and then I didn't do terrible, but I didn't crush, and now it's just in the back of my head like Jamar Chase will never be what
Now
you
you're
want him to be.
tainted for the rest of your drafts. Like,
Yeah.
I can't do that again.
Yeah, Jamar Chase will never be what you want him to be.
That's right.
Always push him down further than he's got to go.
Yep.
So you guys have no love for
I mean, I love Christian McCaffrey, but the question mark. I mean, I guess it's a question mark at quarterback for them, but it doesn't matter with him. He's just a stud. So there's an argument there for sure for Christian McCaffrey, but I'm still on Justin Jefferson, number one overall.
Yeah,
I would do it 100 out of 100 times.
it's inarguable. It's hard to argue. In one of the
It
best
is.
balls that I did, I took Jefferson first overall. But don't be surprised, guys. I mentioned it on the podcast before when the league's leading rusher this year is a rookie by the name of Bijan Robinson. So don't be surprised.
Yeah, you're super high on that guy.
Everybody should be.
Yeah,
they
I mean,
made
I'm not saying
They made Tyler Algier look good. That team made Tyler Algier look good. That team made 97-year-old Cordell Patterson look good. And now they're getting the highest rated running back in the last decade. So yeah, I think that guy could be killer. So or
fair.
it's such a conservative team that he's a rookie and they're like, I'm not going to give you the ball. You're a rookie. You need to learn your spot. So you never know.
no. That's only Dan Campbell's offense.
Yeah, but Arthur Smith is in that mold too. So I mean, if you think about it, Arthur Smith, Tennessee drafted Derrick Henry and didn't start him for 3 years because they started Latavius Murray. Get the fuck out of here. So
Yeah.
that's my only fear for. I got a new nickname for him. We're just gonna call him BJ. Bijan. He's just BJ.
I like it. Yeah,
Sure.
no, I like it.
I mean, why not?
So all right. Well, long episode as it is, but it's a great momentous occasion for a year. So again, I thank you for everyone for joining me.
Of course, man.
Dave, one more time, just shout out the name of your podcast.
Let's Talk Nerdy Podcast. You can find it wherever you get your favorite podcasts, and Let's Talk Nerdy Podcast on all social platforms. And thank you guys again. Super, super appreciate it. Excited to be on. And congratulations to 1 year on the Fantasy Football Bros podcast.
That just means when you guys reach a year, you have to bring me on to talk something nerdy.
Bro, you can come on whenever. Y'all are always welcome to come talk some nerdy stuff.
I would love to. Give me any video games, movies, you name it, I'm in, man.
You guys
100%.
Are always welcome. There's I love because it used to be back in the day there wasn't this crossover of sports fans and like video game fans, and now there's a nice little crossover. So you guys are always welcome on the show.
Appreciate that.
We
man.
appreciate it. I'm sure we'll take you up on that.
Definitely.
So the song of the week this week, since I made John's little drop, this one. We're going to go with Firewoman from the Cult since I got it, and that's there. So we got it for the drop. So Firewoman for the Cult is your song of the week. Adam, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you again, Dave.
Thank you, guys.
Till next week.
Jay, thank you, my friend.
Yeah, no problem.
And until then, starting next week, you guys are going to have to put up with us every fucking week. So until then, we'll see you next time. Peace.
Yes. Later, guys.
Later, guys.
You are now listening to the Fantasy Football Bros Podcast.